All right, welcome to week 5, March of the Machine League, and we're here with our first of 2 death matches, which means both players are at 10 losses. We got Michael M, who was here a couple weeks back, and against him will be Wyatt, who's a new player to our league, first feature match, and Bob's going to look at it from his point of view. So, what do we see over there in his hand?
We see 2 swamps, an island, and a final flourish, which is great, and then 3 green cards. So we need to hit that forest here pretty quickly.
Oh, so he's running the Salt Die. Yeah, I see it. I mean, Michael's over here running what appears to be blue-black splashing white. So the blue-black decks are strong here. They have a strong presence here in week 5. Huh?
I think one of the big keys that we've seen recently is that everybody's got bombs. Everybody's got really strong cards, and a lot of the mom removal, at least the good efficient removal and tempo, as far as dispersal, final flourish, deadly derision, there's lots of stuff in blue and black to do. So you need access to probably one of those colors, and if you've got access to both, you're in good shape.
Yeah, I've been having success with it myself, and I know a lot of other people have running up the score with the blue-black. So here comes Captive Weird, and he could have got blown out there, but he had nothing else to do. He has 2 removals, now 3 removals when the Nefara's Dispersal in hand. He has an Invasion of Tolvada, so he can get back that Fairy Mastermind or even something better. And he's just going to be able to take care of anything that Wyatt plays here with his combination of Collective Nightmare, Merciless Repurposing, and Ifara's Dispersal. So it'll be tough for Wyatt to stick a threat here.
Yeah, Wyatt's he's drawn a Topiary Stomper, which on the double green cost, not going to be very good. He also just drew a Consuming Aetherborn, so he's debating whether he wants to get the Ichor Drinker back from the yard or take the Consuming Aetherborn. Looks like he's going to go with the Ichor Drinker. Notably, the last card in his hand is that Invasion of Ravnica, the powerful colorless card that can remove any card that's not 2 colors. So currently that flipped weird. That's 2 colors, not going to do it.
And Michael's drawn yet another piece of interaction here with the Annihilate Essence. Assimilate Essence, sorry. And he might just fire off his Invasion of Tolvada here, or he could also attack with his Mobilized District, the land here.
Now, if I'm Michael, I probably don't like attacking with the land because your opponent hasn't really done anything. He might have some removal, and I really don't want that removal to turn into a Stone Rain. That's not great.
Yep, not at all. Is Wyatt holding like a blue cards or?
Nope.
So stands to reason he might be splashing blue then, based on what you're describing of his hand.
Certainly possible. Yeah. Wyatt's currently reading Invasion of Ravnica to make sure that he can't remove the 3/3 on the opponent's side of the board. He cannot, so the Consuming Aetherborn it is.
Yeah, to be more efficient, he could have waited till that thing attacked, but I guess he just he said, I'm going to disperse it immediately.
I don't know. Your opponent's tapping out for 4 mana. You don't expect him to cast much else this turn. He's just kind of making sure he gets that good F6 value.
Yeah. And he could have cast his Collective Nightmare or Assimilate Essence anyway. Here comes Isaac Ataxis, a nice little...
Great little value card.
Draw spell here. Makes a 3/3.
You said in weeks past that is reminiscent of Sir Elf's Packmate, I think it was called.
Yeah, it's kind of like Packmate in reverse.
And it's great. It does put something as a target. It puts a target for the Invasion of Ravnica, and that means that Michael is really sort of, setting this up for that Assimilate Essence. It really means that, Wyatt wants to be efficient. He wants to do something proactive. He feels like the game's slipping away from him. And then for the tempo play, 2 mana taking care of my 5 mana play. It's not good for Wyatt.
Yeah, how many green cards does he have in his hand now?
We got 4 cards and 4 green ones.
Yeah, this is the trouble we get with splashing. Like you need both your main colors, or else as we see, he's left with a non-functional hand here that's gonna very quickly fold to what's going on Michael's side, including a chump block here, unless he has a Mirrored and Avenged.
No. A green-black card, a very powerful one to probably watch for in game 2, but Glissa, Herald of, Predations?
Yeah.
Just come off. It's very good.
Yeah, so Michael says, let me get my value here. Let me flip this Invasion, send 2 at it just in case he has removal. And set up to basically, more or less lock him out of the game with removals in hand. So he has 2 creatures in hand that he just decided not to play. He said, could have a board wipe. Don't want to run my Lazotep Reaver Etherblade Agent into that. I have lethal on board. And now we get
Yeah.
the ultimate sadness here with the tap land. The green source finally showing up, but it's a tap land.
Okay, interesting. Right off the top of the deck from the Fairy Mastermind, not going to do anything this game, I think, but Gyruda,
All
a very
right.
powerful 6 drop coming from Wyatt
Yeah,
that we might be able to see in game 2.
look, once players get to 10 losses, this is the absolute most powerful their deck is going to be. So they've got the maximum amount of packs. Their deck is not getting any more powerful.
You would
So
think that makes sense. Let me tell you from my experience, that may not be the case. My deck was about as powerful as it's going to get about win 8. It didn't get much better after
I've
that.
had a couple of leagues that somehow my deck got worse despite opening
Mm-hmm.
packs. I don't know how it's possible,
Mm-hmm.
but I managed it somehow.
Yeah, and taking a look at the deck list here now in sideboarding, you're absolutely right. We were main green black, and we've got exactly 3 total blue cards in the entire deck. That is 2 Hidetsugu and Kairis, a double blue splash, and a Fairy Mastermind. And so everything else is black green, Herbology Instructors, Port and Trackers. We've got 2 Skittering Surveyors, looks like. So, Wyatt's got some fixing. We just need to see if we can find it in game 2.
Yeah, so the Invasion of Tolvat is actually the only white card in Michael's whole deck. So
I love that splash. I think
very
it's a
light
perfect splash.
Just has the classic blue black deck. He has an original Shieldred up at the top of his curve there.
Ooh.
The 7-drop Shieldred, and
Yeah.
just the the classic removals and as far as dispersals and good 2-drops here as we see in his hand. What's Wyatt looking at? Does he have green this time?
Well, we've mulliganed down to 6, and as we're looking at 6, I see 2 forests, but no swamps, which includes Kaya, I think the uncommon one from War of the Spark.
Okay, yeah.
And then 3 black cards, which include Murder, and then a Skittering Surveyor.
Looks like
So we decided to toss that back, and now we're on Island Swamp, but we have the Blight Reaper Thallid, right? The 2-drop.
Yeah, I do feel like you need to keep 2 lands in a Skittering Surveyor.
Probably, especially because the Skittering Surveyor finds you the 3rd one, but it looks like here we are not punished. There's no justice in the entire world. Rip the forest right off the top of the deck. That means that we're going to be down a couple cards on Wyatt's side, but if he can, make it work, get some value, he's got a Dig Up the Body, which is the casualty.
That's a fun one, yeah.
That was a pretty good one that he might be able to get some value out of.
That's like when Unsealed the Necropolis came out. I sort of that was a callback to me. It was a callback to Dig Up the Body. It plays out very similar.
I think, if you look at the last, 5 or 6 sets, they've all had some sort of, double raised dead sort of effect. Dig Up the Body was one. You've got the Unseal the Necropolis. There was one with Kicker and DMU. There was the green one in Kamigawa.
Depends on the set of how good it is and where it slots in. But yeah, this has found a good spot in the format. Like Urborg Repossession was kind of, by the end of DMU League, it was just all Urborg Repossession decks with Necromancers, and
exactly
that was the experience of weeks 4 through 6 of DMU League. So yeah, he's flipping the Thallid out of lack of other things to do, but it's just going to get stonewalled by the death touch here. And Michael's just going to keep building out his board. He has another Aetherblade agent in hand. He does have Unseal, as we were discussing about it. He has Assimilate Essence and Merciless Repurposing. So very similar hand to what he had last time. A lot of the same cards we saw. Bond of Flourish.
The Thallid here is going to be really good. Not necessarily the 3/3 is going to be okay here on this board, but having the 1/1, just sacking a random token in order to end up casualtying out a double Dig Up the Body. That seems really powerful on Wyatt's side.
Yeah, seems like a strong move, and Michael just doesn't really have any way to push forward. He has some interaction, but he doesn't have anything to gain the advantage. He's drawn Preening Champion, so that's at least something that can start attacking.
Yeah, I also don't really love a flip over from Michael's side because, a 1/1 death touch and a 3/3 death touch, they don't really interact any differently on this board.
Not with the
so you're just kind of,
they don't.
Yeah, or the flipped Thallid as well. Like both of them are kind of the same.
Yeah, he does at least have a source of damage here, but it's going to be a long game if this is the path to victory through a Preening Champion.
Yeah, I think that if I'm in Wyatt's seat, I feel a little bit more comfortable about where we are because it means I'm not getting run over this game, and it might come down to some top decks.
We got a nice draw here. This is gonna start putting more pressure on Wyatt's life total. It's Echo Inspector, which is the flying creature with Connive from Streets of New Capenna. So
Oh,
that's going to put on the
sure.
pressure. That's likely going to be 3 damage coming in now, along with the Grand
Yeah.
Champion. So now Wyatt needs to do something because he can take 2 a turn, but he certainly cannot take 5 a turn.
Yeah, he probably has one or two draw steps to find something really good. Because if, let's say, he stabilizes at 11 health or something similar, then that's not a terribly bad spot. But Wyatt's feeling the pressure. He's looking at this dig of the body, and he's got nothing really in the bin right now.
Yeah,
Another swamp off the top doesn't feel good.
Michael strangely has discarded Unsealed and Necropolis. He drew a second copy of Merciless Repurposing. I feel like you want to have Unsealed just in case your creatures do die. It is possible that
I don't know.
removal's found, but he's just keeping all his removal. He's drawn Deadly Derision, so he has 3 unconditional removal and a counter spell here.
Maybe he feels that the only way he loses is if there's some big bomb from Wyatt's side, i.e., like a Glissa or Hidetsugu, some of these other items that could happen.
Yeah, Hidetsugu, I mean, I don't know if he's splashing that, but that's it's double.
Yeah, we saw 2 in the
So he's
in the
the
sideboarding.
Wary Thespian here, just to guarantee at least one thing to bring back. That's a Gyruda, so Gyruda is going to get mercilessly repurposed, but not before he digs something up from the graveyard. So
Well, the Assimilate Essence might get it, right? Do we have enough to pay for it? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're 1 mana short on the Assimilate Essence.
Almost, yeah.
In Herbology Instructor,
he does have Portent Tracker if he sees it.
Yeah, that counts part of the 9, right?
Okay.
So 5 swamps plus 3 other lands is 8. He needs a total of 10 in order to get around it.
Yeah, so this counter spell, usually late in the game, you don't really like having it, but if your opponent's leaning on a 6-drop to pull them back in the game, perhaps this is where the counter spell has use here. So
Wyatt's thinking that Gyruda's going to help advance his board, but it's not really helping him, stem the bleeding. He's going to run probably face first into one of the removal spells by flipping up his Herbology Instructor.
Yeah, I think he figures like Gyruda is likely to get countered, so let me run this out and maybe be able to kill a flyer.
Yeah,
and he did gain 3 life in the process.
Yep.
So that's
I think it's great.
Yeah, but the problem is now we got a 3/3, so we actually have another attacker here with this 3/3. If he wants it.
Yeah, and I think if I'm Michael, I want to attack with that because I want to encourage trading off the incubator token with the Thallid. I mean that to me seems good.
So he's
going quote. Yeah, okay. Shields down, right? I don't have anything else. I flipped up my thing.
He also has a Meeting of the Minds, which he can cast
purely so good
creatures.
So good.
Yeah, Michael's got a firm grasp on this for the time being, but we do know how swingy the set can be with the draw of one specific card. The game could be turned on its face, but it's going to take more than just one card here to get through what's happening.
Yeah, so he must be playing around that counterspell pretty well. He really considered that Skittering Surveyor, but ultimately said low impact.
I imagine he's specifically playing around Assimilate Essence, having seen
almost
in the last game, and said, Gyruda is my potential way back into the game. I mean, it's not even guaranteed because, there's still 5 power of flying. There's no guarantee he can deal with that, even with a Resolve Gyruda. Here comes another Preening Champion off the top, so it's just going to be... it's going to draw out this Gyruda almost assuredly because he'll be dead before he can cast it otherwise.
Yeah, I don't think there were too many things I saw in sideboarding that are going to help out too much.
Yeah, so
it's not like we had some big reach creature or anything.
So he's going to attack with basically everything here except for his Aetherblade. He said my opponent has only 1 toughness creatures, so I can send these kind of garbagey bodies here into combat and not really care. I'm in no position of danger here. I'm just gonna make it really awkward for my opponent and clear the board more or less.
Yeah, I think most of these blocks don't matter. I think I would have probably put the Ichor Drinker on the token rather than token on token because you want your Ichor Drinker to die, right? If you're not playing Gyruda next turn, you want to bring it back as a 2/2. Whereas right now it's like the only creature that survives.
Yeah, and he blocked in such a way that it's actually gonna survive exactly. And I think this is kind of a I know that you know moment here. He's not. I think not blocking with the Portent Tracker sort of has very clearly shown that Mike. If Michael wasn't sure of it before, he's now 100% certain that he's waiting for 10 mana.
Yeah.
But
We
he's
did
running
get
out
a
of
deadly
time.
diversion off the top, which is pretty good. We surveilled the deadly diversion off the top. It could allow for yeah, I was gonna say it could allow for a deadly diversion, and then you get to either Garuda next turn, or you can go deadly diversion into Garuda this turn. But he's really sort of weighing
It's
his
going to end up
options.
being very close to lethal because he can kill the Echo Inspector. He'll still go down to at least 5 from the flyers.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael can just attack with all of his creatures, honestly. So
Yeah, he's gonna kind of end up running again face first in this counter spell, and it's just gonna be timely. Because he's looking at the deadly derision right now. He's holding it against stack. I think he's like thinking, okay, well, I can do 4 mana, save the treasure, and then cast the 6-drop this turn. But ultimately, he tries to be as patient as he can. He's going to deadly derision on Michael's turn, and then use his 10 mana. That means he's going to have to take an additional one by not blocking with the Portent Tracker.
yeah, Michael's drawn another draw spell here with Invasion of Vryn, but yes. Yeah, this is sort of what the blue-black deck does. I mean, he's not even played rares this game. He just sort of played out his stuff, had some flyers, and is holding up interaction now.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would have more fun with something like Wyatt's deck, but, I mean, if you want to win the whole thing, Michael's deck is what you want.
Yeah, just very focused on what it's doing. And just lots of interaction. He just, like we've seen, he just has his hands full of answers. So even if his opponent draws like perfect, he's still just going to remove everything.
I won't hate it if maybe instead of the Invasion of Vryn, if Michael ended up removing the Portent Tracker. It's very obvious that we're not casting Garuda because of the Assimilate Essence. So like if you pull him off, that means he's got to draw a land. Otherwise, you get the Assimilate Essence for
free. Now he's drawn 2 more removals here.
Oh, excellent.
With Murder and Tyrant's Scorn, which is a gold card from War of the Spark that either bounces a creature or kills a creature, I believe, that costs 3 mana.
3 or less, yeah. 3 or less.
So he's just all answers, and he has what he needs on board. He doesn't need any more on board right now.
Yep, an island picked up, so yeah, doesn't terribly matter here.
Yeah, if Michael had an extra blue, he probably would have just fired off the Tyrant Scorn on the Portent Tracker to just make it even harder to resolve the. I think he can actually even probably allow this Gyruda to resolve.
I would.
Which how much removal he has.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything major that's happening.
I saw some that looked scary get milled over there. Yeah, okay, he does have the Hitsuga and Kairi, but that's not an eligible.
Yeah, we saw 2 in sideboarding, so unfortunately that means that we can't get it here.
Bit of a tough splash if you're splashy blue, but either way. So Herbology will gain him some life here at the very least.
Yeah.
Tyrant Scorn. Gonna kill that. 3, 5. I'm trying to figure out if he can kill everything and flip his Etherblade for 8, but it doesn't look like it because there's an extra token coming. But
yeah, that's a tough call.
This game is almost assuredly ending in the next turn cycle. Maybe not the next turn, but Michael's just, like I said, with an embarrassment of riches in his hand when it comes to removal and interaction.
Mm-hmm.
He can, pick off every creature that's in play here, basically, over the next turn. He's drawn Tetsuko, which is actually means nothing can be blocked on his side. So doesn't even necessarily have to use removal. Just play as Tetsuko and nothing can be blocked. So like I said, we're seeing these decks at peak power level here. Week 5, 10 losses.
Yeah, I mean, you've been in the league for a little while. You've seen a couple of different things. I'm still somewhat new here. Like, is this sort of thing that Michael's bringing with us to week 5? Is this really the sort of fine-tuned efficiency that we can normally expect from most leagues, or is it something, let's say, a more product of Mom and the Chaos League that we have that he's able to sort of piece together a number of different items?
It's definitely both, but like week 5 and 6, the decks are pretty much well-oiled machines for the people that are still around, especially in week 6.
I mean, if there's one draw that we could draw, it's Hitsuga and Kairi, so let's slam it down and see what we can find.
Yeah, and it won't get countered, so... But, he can make him pay the 4, yeah.
I think he's got to do it, and then he's got to draw. I was going to say herbology instructor, but even that's not it.
Yeah, another thing he could have done. No, he didn't have enough mana to kill it with the trigger on the stack.
Yeah. I think that's dangerous. Killing with a trigger on the stack, even though it's blind flip, you never know if somebody's got some sort of like, I don't know, like there's the choking miasma or something like that could be in
Yeah,
here.
I did that. I did that one time, and they blind flipped a temporal cleansing that they got to cast for free. But I mean, it was still it was still the right move. It was still the right move. But anyway, we do see Tetsuko and the gang coming in for a lethal attack here. So Michael has remained alive here in week 5, and Wyatt has fallen. So thank you to both players for this death match to start off our matches for week 5, and we'll be back with something pretty wacky for our second match.